day. This is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you on February 22nd, 2025 for Reason to Resist. I am in the Lebanese border village of Kfar Kila, which is just across the border from occupied Palestine and within view of the Israeli military base of Metula. And we've come here to survey the damage today and also to try to speak to the very few villagers who have come back to this devastated village. So here at the hilltop of Kfar Kila, you can see this is a water tank that the Israeli military destroyed. And up at the end of this road is a UNIFIL military base. UN forces, it looks as if their base was not struck, but everything around it is pretty much demolished.
Okay, let's film David now.
So we are now standing in the Lebanese border village of Kfar Kila. Off in the distance on that hill is the Israeli military base and settlement known as Metula. They have suffered very extensive damage, reportedly, during the course of the war with the Islamic resistance. And down here in the valley, on the Lebanese side of the border wall, which runs all the way down in that direction, you can see almost complete devastation. So in the valley below, amongst the devastation, one can see from this hilltop what remains of a soccer field, and the Israeli forces have carved into the soccer field the Star of David. And I think what's very striking to me as I look at this demolition zone is that, according to the Israeli press and Israeli colonists who live in the northern colonies of occupied Palestine, one of the most damaged settlements, if not the most damaged settlement during the course of the war on the Palestinian side of the border, is Metula, which you can now see in the image there on that hilltop. That's the military base, and the settlement is beneath the hilltop on the hillside. And from this distance, whatever damage the settlement of Metula may have sustained, you can clearly see that the buildings there, by and large, remain standing. And from this vantage point, it doesn't seem as though many structures have sustained enough damage to render them uninhabitable. Now, when you compare that, and recall this is supposed to be the colony that has sustained the most damage, or some of the worst damage, during the course of this war. And when you compare the condition of the civilian infrastructure there to the condition of the civilian infrastructure here on the Lebanese side of this apartheid wall, I mean, it's incredibly stark disparity. There is no potential plausible military justification for this level of destruction of civilian infrastructure. I mean, not a single building I can see anywhere in the valley below on the Lebanese side of the border that has not been either leveled to the ground or damaged extensively. And up on that hilltop, by the way, is another Lebanese village by the name of Hadi, which also, we understand, we're not going to be able to go there today, has suffered very extensive damage.
They withdrew them.
Destroyed olive trees. Many of them have been uprooted, burnt, blasted. Here you can see that the Israelis have done extensive damage to olive trees. There are a number of areas where we've seen extensive damage to olive groves here.
هم فجروه بعد وقف اطلاق النار ولا
هلا
قبل؟
من شي شهر.
A month ago they blew it up. وهون
This was his home?
الشجرات
كله هذا كله قبعوا تقبيع.
في شغلات كانت معمرة يعني 150 100 سنة سرقوها، في شيء سرقوه؟
كله هذا مقبع. هذا عمره فوق ال 100 سنة.
وفي شغلات سرقوها أخذوها معهم؟ So here there's a few that they took that are over 150
كله
years
هذا
old.
شايف كله.
This is why it's clear now here, because they took everything that's old. الله يقويكم، الله يحميكم، الله يعوضكم. أنت رجعتوا.
هلا جينا.
They just came back today to the house. وجيتوا كلكم العيلة?
أنا وعائلتي وأولادي جينا نتفقد نشوف.
The whole family, the kids and everybody to check their homes, they're back.
الأرض اللي غرقت كانت كلها كلها.
يا رب يا الله. وكنتوا طلعوا منه زيت زيتون؟
طبعا هذا خلص طلع منه مولد. عمر الزيتون فوق ال 100 سنة.
A lot of these olive trees were over 100 years old. They make olive oil and sell it, obviously, and also make enough for their family consumption.
You know that this area won the first prize internationally. New York. Contest in New York, they won the first prize. It's called Tremes olive oil. It's these olive orchards that are mentioned. That they belong actually to the olive oil company. So.
So Hadi, we are now down in the valley, surrounded by the destruction of Kfar Kila. The occupied Palestine is right over here. There's a drone apparently up here. Now you were here a few days ago and encountered a drone, and you were here to do something which must have been a very difficult and painful experience for you. I understand that you came to locate the body of your friend who was a fighter for the Islamic resistance, and you had information about his location, and you actually found him. So you're kind enough to take us to the site where you found your friend, and if you could tell us about the experience.
Well, actually, yes, this one was one personal loss in this war. I lost a friend of mine who I knew for more than 20 years, basically. His friends were trying to understand where he probably was martyred, so and they could assess that the place that he probably received the airstrike was over there. So I asked many of the friends who know the place, and they said that it's either in this house or the other one. On the day Kfar Kila was liberated, on the 18th of February, I actually came here. I came by walking. I left my car on Derby Mess, like it's 4 kilometers away, and I took the walk here. And I came here, I found, I started like noticing that there might be a body.
Shall we go up and...
Yeah. And when I received you might be visited by a drone now.
It's right up there. Let's go up to the site where you found your friend.
You should know that when we crossed Kfar Kila while coming to here, we also were able to notice other martyrs who are still inside houses. And of course we called for the ambulances to come and check for them. And they were able to recover them. Now our friend down there just told us, you were with me, he told us that only 2 remaining bodies are still missing. And they were able to recover more than 20 bodies
Of the fighters, you mean?
of the fighters. The fiercest fights happened in this in Kfar Kila, and in this neighborhood we are right now just few tens of meters away from the borders. Yeah, the blue line is like 200 meters from this way, and this is why the Israelis are very upset, and they have the drone that is still
Up there.
monitoring us right now.
Yeah, you can see it clearly. And are these, am I
and
correct that
sometimes-
these are bullet holes in the
Yeah,
walls
these
here?
are bullet holes. These are bullet holes. And fights happened here. Fierce fights happened here.
Right.
And you can see how, everything is struck by airstrike. And this is actually how our friend got martyred. He got struck by an airstrike after
Uh-huh.
engaging in many clashes.
And before you found him, how long was his body lying here in the village? Do you know? Do you
4
have any
months.
idea? 4 months.
And a week, maybe. 4 months and 1 week.
And so we're close to the site now. Shall we head up there? Do you want to go closer?
It's
or-
actually inside if you want to come here. Come with me. As you see, the whole building was destroyed. You start noticing the drones without seeing drones. You just have to hear it. It has this buzzing effect. I don't know if you're hearing it.
Yes, I can hear it.
Yeah, whenever you hear the buzzing effect, this means that there is a flying drone that does it. So this is basically where we found the body of our friend, and this is where we searched. You can check here. And this is where he was.
And
We found him here.
what was his name?
Ahmed Abu Nasser.
How long,
Ahmed Ramal.
how long were you friends with Ahmed?
For more than 20 years. Actually, I knew him for more than 20 years. And although we had different paths through our lives, so I became a journalist and he became a fighter in the resistance, but we kept our friendship so close. And I could tell you that the main loss in this war for me as a personal loss was losing this friend of mine. And the most painful part of it is having to search for him and finding his body and, and searching for the rest of his body.
And
After
he's been
4
laid
months.
to rest now, finally?
No, actually, we're waiting after the funeral of Said Hassan. So he received his funeral in our village because he's from my village.
And I
Yeah.
understand you've lost other friends in this war.
Well, everyone lost friends in this war. I'm not saying this so I can look like I'm the only one who lost his friends. We're talking about for more than 4,000 martyrs, and most of them are 20s and 30 years old. Most of them. So this means that you will rarely find anyone in Lebanon now who doesn't hate Israel for killing a friend of him. And this is when we talk about strategic loss for Israel. The new generation in Lebanon should have forgot the war between Lebanon and Israel. They are all born after 2000, year 2000. and they barely noticed any fights, any real wars. The year 2006, they were really still kids, so they probably don't have memories. So Israel could have ended up after like 20-30 years of calm with Lebanon, calm fronts with Lebanon, with a generation that is now 30 years old and doesn't have never heard any kind of bullet coming from the Israeli side. But instead of this happened, and now you can see the village, of course, and you can see all the villages in South Lebanon and all Lebanon. People now, you can say that everyone in Lebanon now, everyone in my age, I have a friend who got martyred in this war and was killed by Israel. And not only this, even people from other places in Lebanon, from other sects, they have university friends, friends who were together with them in school.
How many, what is the current count of casualties, people killed, civilians and fighters in this war, do you know?
About 5,000.
There must be many more who were wounded.
About more than 12,000. Including pagers, I think. The first day I came, there was parts of a Merkava tank. It looks like a Merkava tank was blown up by some mine or some RPG or some ATGM right here. Yeah, there was a machine gun of the Merkava tank over there and some of the magazines of the bullets.
Is Palestine up this road?
Yeah, Palestine is from this.
So tanks might have come down this road.
Most probably, yes. Most probably. Yeah, I think this.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you.
We hope that we return to Kfar Kila someday, me and you, and it's rebuilt. And you
Inshallah.
know, one beautiful aspect of our society is that usually people during the war times and after war, they come closer together, and despite the fact that now we have lots of wounded people, lots of widowed women and children who lost their parents, mainly their father. But we are hopeful that we look forward that our society will be able to do good job in being together and staying together and overcoming this
Inshallah.
Genocide.
You know, in my many trips here, one of the strongest impressions I have is that the Lebanese people are incredibly resilient. For all of the hardship they've sustained, to maintain the good humor and the camaraderie that they have is a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, this is a way of resisting, right?
It is indeed. Yeah.
If you don't have a weapon, you can just tell the Israelis that, okay, I'm not afraid of you and I will continue my life despite what you do. And this is why people are putting tents and they are having a fire. When we passed through the center of Kfar Kila, the destroyed center, you could see people having shisha, nargile, and having a fire and sitting around it. They are basically stating for the Israelis that even if you destroyed all our village, we'll come here and we'll still try to live our life and we will rebuild it.
One of the things, the acts of defiance I found most impressive, people with their homes partially or wholly destroyed have erected the flags of the Islamic resistance on their
and
homes.
that takes lots of courage now, you know.
Yeah.
You know how much
Yeah.
this takes a courage to tell the Israelis who are still in the skies and and look, for example, the drone is still over there. Come and see it. Look. It's still over there.
Oh, yes.
You see it?
Yes.
It's still there. They will monitor all the time and they can see the whole village. So it takes lots of courage to state for the Israelis now that you support the resistance and you're from here. You're not like a visitor who are coming to this place and saying to the Israelis like, yes, I support the resistance. No, you're staying here and you're intending to rebuild your house, and still you're putting a resistance flag on it. This is
It's a defiance of extraordinary courage. It really
Yes.
is.
That's correct. I should also thank you, Dimitri, for coming to this area that even after the ceasefire and after the withdrawal, it's still a dangerous place to come. And this is why no foreigner is here, as you can see. And let's hope that documenting these war crimes will make the people of this world realize more who has the right to defend their lands and who is the actual occupier and the actual invader and the one who is oppressing the others.
Well, as they say, knowledge is power, and documenting these crimes will empower the oppressed. Let us hope.